Should I be sitting closer to the camera? This is, I don't know. New setups are always weird. Now I have no headroom. We're just gonna stick with that. Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video. Today, as you can see, I'm in a different setting for two reasons. One, it is very hot inside my house today, and second, my room is an absolute disaster and I didn't feel like cleaning it up, so I thought that I would shoot outside for today. So I hope that's all right. I hope that this is an interesting enough background. It's really not. It's just trees and the balcony. So I apologize. It's not the most interesting background, but you know, here we are. As you can see from the thumbnail and the title, we're going to be talking about convention going tips. So we're going to be getting into it, but before we do, today's video is kindly sponsored by Karma. Karma is an app and browser extension that ensures that you never miss a price drop or coupon code. Check out the link below to learn more about Karma. So if you guys have seen, Karma has been a longtime sponsor of the channel. It's a service that I like a lot. It's been very, very helpful and has helped me save on a wide variety of items, whether that's cosplay accessories, pieces of cosplays, nerd merch, or photography equipment. I found it super helpful for not only helping me save money, but also helping me organize and plan my purchases beforehand. So it's really a service that I genuinely recommend using. How it works is you first download Karma's Chrome extension. Then from there, you can visit your favorite stores and save any items that you might be interested in. You then have the option to receive notifications via email or mobile push whenever an item you've saved goes on sale, has a relevant coupon code, or comes back in stock if it was previously sold out. You can also plan your shopping by organizing items into various wish lists, which is something that I have found super helpful. Karma scans the web for coupon codes and applies them at checkout automatically. This is a special feature if you use Karma on your computer, making their Chrome extension an absolute must. You can also earn Karma Cash when you shop from select retail partners. You can download Karma's free Chrome extension by using my link, which I will have on screen right here, or you can find it in the description box below. A huge thank you to Karma for sponsoring today's video. All of that out of the way, let's get into some convention tips. I've got my handy dandy notes here, so I will be consulting those, and yeah, let's get into it. So my first tip for going to conventions, especially for newbies, is to never go alone. This is for two reasons. The first reason is for any minors watching, it's very important that you go to conventions with someone, be it a parent, a sibling, or a friend, preferably somebody who's older, because it's just not necessarily the safest environment to be going by yourself. I'm not saying that cons are dangerous, but there are sometimes sketchy people at conventions, and it's very important to, you know, be in a group for safety and or to be with someone older who can be there as your guardian. Certain conventions do have age restrictions, meaning that you do have to have somebody older with you if you are under a certain age. This is on a case-by-case basis, so not all conventions are like this, but either way, whether it's required by the convention or not, it is important to go to the convention with a friend. Aside from safety, this is also just going to make your experience better. Being at a convention can be a very overwhelming experience. It can be a very overwhelming environment, and being there by yourself can be, not to use this word too much, but overwhelming. So I personally find it better to have people with you to just make it a more fun and easier experience. So first tip, don't go by yourself. Second tip is not really a tip necessarily, it's just something to know. You don't have to go in cosplay. A lot of people ask if it is a necessity, if it is a requirement to go to a convention in cosplay, and the answer is absolutely not. You can totally go in casual clothes, you can go in a cosplay, you can go in a casual cosplay, you can do whatever you want. You don't necessarily have to cosplay if you are going to a convention. Even if you bring a cosplay with you and you plan to wear it, and then the day of the convention comes and you decide that you're just not having it, maybe you're feeling too tired, maybe you're feeling too overwhelmed, you don't have to wear that cosplay. Don't feel like you are pressured to cosplay. It is certainly a very fun experience to get to cosplay at a convention. All the friends that you make, all of the kind of attention that you get and everything can be very fun, but if it's not something that you are interested in or not something that you feel up to, you can totally forego it as well, and you can still have a really, really great experience. Number 3 is something that even us veteran cosplayers and con-goers forget about, and that is to stay hydrated and stay fed. These are very important things, and they are very easy to lose track of when you are at a convention. You'd be surprised. I know that a lot of you watching who have never been to a convention are probably like, How do you forget to eat? How do you forget to drink? Trust me, it happens, and it happens all the time. So make sure that you're bringing a refillable water bottle. Make sure that you're bringing snacks to the convention, like granola bars, or I really like bringing bagels with peanut butter, like really kind of fortifying snacks that you can have. Nuts are another really good snack option if you're not allergic to nuts, obviously. Just bringing snacks that are going to fortify you for the day and making sure that you're taking the time to sit down and actually eat and drink, and making sure that you're properly taken care of. Really important at a convention. Again, super easy to lose track of. You'd be surprised, so make sure that you are constantly keeping tabs on that. On that same note, make sure that you are researching food in the area. Convention food is usually very overpriced. So food that you get at the actual convention center can be super overpriced. So make sure to research food options outside of the convention area, because the further you get away from the convention center, the cheaper your food options are going to be. By the same token, the further that you are away from the convention, the more weirded out people are going to be, because you're not, at the epicenter of where everybody's dressed up, so people aren't as used to it. But if you're willing to get out of the kind of convention area and you're not bothered by weirding people out in your cosplay, then by all means, check out other food options that are further away from the convention to help you save money. Next tip, I have already lost count of which tip this is, so next tip. Something that I recommend if it is your first time going to a convention, there are lots of different things to do, and I recommend, where possible, don't overwhelm yourself, but where possible, try to experience as many different things at the convention as you possibly can. So try going to competitions and watching competitions. Try going to the gaming room. Try going to the artist alley and vendors hall. Try doing photo shoots outside. Try as many different activities as you can. Check out the programming guide that each convention has to see what different activities there are to do, and just try to experience as much of it as you possibly can, because then you are going to get a better idea of what you enjoy doing at conventions. So then your next time at a convention, you're going to have a clear idea of what you want to do, and you can therefore focus in on those things. But obviously, like I said, don't feel like you have to try absolutely everything. Like, don't overwhelm yourself, but like I said, where possible, try to experience as much of the convention as you can. Next tip, which is something that my roommate Justine brought up, and I think it's very important, is just because somebody is taking your photo doesn't mean you have to do what they say. So just because somebody asks you for a photo doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. If you're not feeling up to getting your photo taken, or you feel uncomfortable or what have you, you are totally within your right to say no. And if the person gets pissy about it, that's really their problem and not yours. That's not something that you have to worry about, because your well-being and your comfort is what's most important. It doesn't matter what the other person feels. By the same token, if you are collaborating with a photographer and they're taking your photo and they ask you to do a pose that you are not comfortable with, you are completely within your right to say no. Don't feel like you have to go along with what they are saying. Something that sometimes happens, which is very unfortunate, is some photographers will prey on younger cosplayers, and they will ask them to do poses that they are maybe not comfortable with, and the cosplayer feels like they have to go along with it just because the photographer said so, and so that can lead to very uncomfortable situations happening. These things do happen from time to time, so it's important to be aware of it. So if a photographer asks you to do a pose and you're not comfortable with it, or whatever, you're totally within your right to say no. Totally don't worry about sparing their feelings, just worry about your own comfort and safety. Related to that point, and also related to the first point that I brought up, especially if you are underage, when you go to photo shoots, make sure that you are bringing somebody with you, preferably somebody older. This is for your own comfort and safety. So in case the photographer turns out to be creepy or asks you things that you're not comfortable with, you'll have somebody there for the sake of safety, and maybe if you are not feeling comfortable saying no, that person can step in and say no for you. So just another safety thing to keep in mind for photo shoots. Most photographers are fine, but there are photographers sprinkled in there who are not fine. So this is just an important thing to be aware of and to be prepared for. But like I said, conventions for the most part are very safe places, but sometimes, like I said, there are creepy people. So it is important to be aware of that and to be prepared for it. Also related to that fact, if anybody is making you feel uncomfortable for whatever reason whatsoever, always trust your gut and get yourself out of that situation by whatever means necessary. This happens to me even as a 25-year-old. I still encounter people at conventions who make me feel uncomfortable. There have been situations where my gut has told me that I should get out of that situation, and I haven't, and it's turned out to be bad, creepy, unsafe, what have you. So it is important to, no matter how little the feeling might be, you know, you maybe have a little feeling that this is an unsafe or creepy situation, always listen to that and use whatever means necessary to get out of that situation. So excuse yourself, tell a lie, doesn't matter what it is. Don't worry about the other person's feelings. Because I remember I was once in a situation where I didn't want to be there and I got a bad vibe, and I thought like, well, if I say that I have to go, it's going to sound fake and then that's going to hurt his feelings. And I should not have worried about that at all whatsoever. I should have just gotten myself out of that situation. So it doesn't matter if it sounds fake, it doesn't matter if you have to lie, it doesn't matter whatever. Your safety and feeling comfortable is what's most important. So just use whatever means necessary to excuse yourself from the situation and get out of there. Again, wherever possible, make sure to have somebody with you, because you know, if maybe you aren't able to think of a way to get yourself out of that situation, that other person, you know, will be able to and will be able to help you. Because I've, again, had situations where someone's been creepy with me and I've been clearly uncomfortable. My friend has been like, oh, we have to go to this panel, quick, let's go, and they've just pulled me away, and you know, obviously they don't care about the other person's feelings, so they've been totally fine to just get me out of that situation. Ending on a lighter note, like I said, I don't want people to think that conventions are unsafe or what have you. It's just sometimes there are creepy people at conventions and it's important to be aware of these things. So anyway, we're gonna leave off on a more positive tip, and that is to not be afraid to do multiple rounds of the dealer's hall and artist alley. The dealer's hall, if you don't know, is where people sell officially branded pieces of merch. So like wall scrolls, DVDs, plushies, stuff like that. The artist alley is an alley full of artists. These are independent artists who make various wares. So they usually make prints, keychains, buttons, stuff like that, and they are not officially branded pieces of merch. They are pieces of fan merch. Typically, the artist alley is cheaper than the vendor's hall, usually, and usually the things that you find in the artist alley are much more unique than the things that you find in the vendor's hall. So one is not necessarily better than the other. I personally prefer artist alley, but again, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for, you know, that official plushie, then obviously the vendor's hall is what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something more unique, like a unique print, the artist alley is going to be better for what you're looking for. So don't be afraid to do multiple rounds of the artist alley and vendor's hall before actually making a purchase, because it can be very overwhelming. There are lots of stalls, there are lots of people selling their wares, you have a limited budget, and you want to make sure that you are budgeting out your purchases so that you don't overspend. So what my friends and I will typically do is on the first day of the convention, we'll do rounds of both the artist alley and the vendor's hall, sometimes multiple rounds. We'll take stock of what we want or what we're considering, and then we'll go off and come back maybe the next day or on the last day, and whatever is still kind of in our minds and still something that we really want, we will then get those things, and things that we haven't been thinking about as much, we'll forego those things. So basically you're going the first day, you're taking stock of what there is, and then you're kind of budgeting it out in your head on what things you for sure want, and then going back. It's good to go back on the last day, because typically people will have deals, because vendors don't want to be taking back as much stock as they came with, because that's taking up more space and it's more expensive to transport it. So they will often cut you deals. So it's good to come back on the last day to hopefully get a deal. By the same token, however, if there's something that you really want, and it's going to probably be a popular item, there's a very low chance that it will be available on that last day. So if there's something that you see that, like on the first day, you really want it and you just can't get it out of your head, and you really want to get it, go back as soon as possible and buy it if it's one of those items. But if it's something that you're not as attached to, you can wait until the last day to get it, hopefully at a discount. But even if not at a discount, then it will still be a good way to go, because then you will have had time to budget out your purchases by then. I hope all that makes sense. So those are my tips for conventions. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any convention tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. We can help each other out. Another huge thank you to Karma for sponsoring today's video. If you're interested in downloading Karma for free, you can use the link on screen here, as well as in the description down below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today for these convention tips, and thanks for bearing with me with this change of scenery. I know it's not as interesting as like my usual backdrop, but like hopefully it's still nice trees, nature. It's nice. Another quick thing that I wanted to mention is that I've been taking TikTok way more seriously these days. I've actually been posting regularly and I've actually been putting effort into my videos. And one thing that I've started doing is Q&As over on TikTok. So I've been answering cosplay and convention related questions. So if you have any questions that you'd like answered in video format, which is what I'll be doing over there, you can leave them in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them. So I'll have a link to my TikTok in the description. I'll also have my username up on screen if you want to go follow me. Yeah, anyway, all of that said, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, I feel like I'm doing so many weird things with my hands all the time. I'm so sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out. How many times have I been doing this outro? Ridiculous. Anyway, I will see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!